So, what is a born again Republican? Technically, it's a book. Born Again Republican. I wrote a book with my campaign manager, Chante Hopkins. I'm Liz Matory. It's available on Amazon, amazon.com. You can read it in the privacy of your Kindle if you are too embarrassed to read about Republicanism. But basically, it's a book, but it's actually a concept. I ran for Congress in Maryland's 8th Congressional District in 2015-16, which is just last year. And I was a Democrat all of my life, since, I'm a DC native. It's who I am, and people like me are only supposed to be Democrats, and those Republicans over there are some, scary people. So I never, ever thought that I would be a Republican ever in my life, but I am one, and I am actually really evangelical about it. So Chante, campaign manager, she just graduated from Howard HU last May, and I were like, this is weird, all this stuff is happening, and we wanted to memorialize it. So we wrote a book, and it seems as if a lot of people are like, you're trying to hawk your book. And it's like, hell yeah, I'm trying to hawk my book because it's something that we worked really hard on, and it's a lot of, really interesting anecdotal stories, but also historical reference to why I call it Born Again, because it's a return back to the Republican Party. Even though someone at a conference that I was just a part of on NPR said, when I said Republicans, African Americans were originally Republicans. And some lady in the audience was like, fake news. I'm like, that's not fake news. That's real history. And so a lot of stuff has happened over the last, I would say, year and a half, that oddly I have a kind of a unique perspective on, that I want more and more people to at least consider. So my goal, personally and as a party, actually, is to allow folks, particularly people like me, whether it's millennials, I'm 2 years ahead of millennials, African Americans, women, whatever, whoever, however you identify, especially if you're a Democrat, to know what's going on, particularly in your party, and how it's affecting the rest of society. I personally believe that it's destructive. It's a lot to say, and I know it's a lot to take, and it's a lot to handle, especially on Facebook. I've lost a lot of friends over not only me becoming a Republican and being so vocal about it, and it happened to coincide with me running as for Congress, but the reality is tough for people to hear, especially if they've never, ever considered that Republicans are like good people. I know that sounds really funny to hear, but, yeah, I was just like a lot of folks, growing up in Washington, D.C., as I said. I think Carol Schwartz was the only Republican, and Jack Kemp were the only Republicans I knew. I didn't know them personally, but, they're all Democrats in Washington, especially at that time in the District of Columbia. And, growing up, I went to Sidwell Friends, which is a awesome school, but it's uber liberal. I never, ever thought that conservatism was something for me. So all throughout this last year, everything that was happening was kind of like a wake-up call. And I kind of want more people to know and to acknowledge the fact that there's something going on, and that we all need to kind of wake up, really wake up to what opportunities we have still, and the things that people are trying to do in order for us to kind of thwart our actual progress. So my goal specifically on these series is not only to let more people know about the awesome book that we wrote, but also to get people, specifically American citizens, to remember how important the United States of America is, particularly how important it is for us to be Americans and to tap into what that means, particularly to protect our republic. All those terms that I used, whether it's republic, it's an actual thing, American citizenship, and Americans are an actual thing that people have oddly forgotten what the importance what this country stands for, and also that conservatism. If you think about it, most successful people, meaning anyone who is not absolutely devastatedly and destitute, tend to actually live by conservative principles. And so throughout the course of these several videos, I'm going to break down all these different things because I feel like just like I was super duper confused and in the dark about it, we want to bring it to light. So I hope you enjoy these videos. I don't know how to do this. This is something new for me, but I kind of hit this sort of notion that because of the presidency of the legitimate presidency of Donald Trump, we are at a very interesting crossroads as a country. There's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of propaganda, and Americans need to know what's going on. And so we're willing to get on a video and shoot some film and hope that more and more people get to understand what is going on. And hopefully we'll build the Republican Party and encourage more people to run and get people more active in their citizenship. Those are all wonderful goals, but we're starting here. So thank you.